Des.
Hey, Donna.
How's it going?
It's going.
It's going, for real.
How are you?
I'm good. It's been an interesting, I would say day, but I guess time to try to get here to do the podcast. So welcome to our podcast, Des and Donna.
For real. For real.
For real.
We mean that for real.
For real.
Anyway.
We're going to break it down. Last podcast, we started on the armor, and we talked about the belt of truth.
Yep.
What do we want to talk about this week?
We're going to talk about the breastplate of righteousness.
Yes, we are.
Which actually was a very detailed, in-depth study, much like the belt of truth, but I mean, so much different than I thought it would go.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, when we started talking about doing the armor, it was just like, everybody knows about the armor, but we don't.
No.
I didn't.
No, and like we said in our last one, like you learn it as a child, and then you read it as an adult, and you're like, oh, okay, I got this.
Right.
And then, it's just not all the same as what you thought.
No, when you break it down, it's so much more, isn't it? So much
Right.
more. So we always start, because I'm a definition girl, with a definition. So in the Bible, Des laughs at my definitions.
I do.
But
I mean, they're good though. I think it's good that you do that.
yeah. Because it's always like I know what the word means, and then I look it up, and I'm like, oh, I knew it meant this, but I didn't know it meant that too.
Yeah.
Or, So in the Bible, righteousness is defined as the state of being in right relationship with God and living in accordance with His holy standards, character, and justice. It is both a moral quality of life and a legal standing before God.
Legal standing.
I love that.
Yeah. That's good.
So the righteousness of God makes us legally right with God, even though we're sinners. But because of Jesus dying on the cross, we are made right.
Yeah.
When we accept Him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just really like the legal part of it. I always take something like that and then like, okay, how does it apply to life? How does it apply to like a certain situation or a circumstance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think the legal standpoint is cool because God is like that. He is the judge. He is like, so I think that it's just really neat that, that heaven is like that.
Yeah, it talks all throughout the Bible about like the Lord's army and, position and legal right. The courts of heaven, right?
Right.
Yeah. He's our judge.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool that even this ties into all that, which I mean, we should probably expect because I mean, He's God and it all ties into all of it, right? But when you start reading it and you see that, you're like, oh, or hearing it. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sidebar.
We touched on it a little bit. Righteousness is something we receive, not something we earn. It is definitely a gift from God. So when Jesus went to the cross, He paid it all, and we accept Him, we become righteous because of the price that He paid, right? But it also is a way of life. So when we talk about the breastplate of righteousness, we receive righteousness when the Lord died on the cross and we accepted Him. But we also live righteous by our choices, our decisions. We put on the breastplate by making right decisions that align with God's character and who He is. Yeah.
I kind of discussed this with you already. But just before we go into like all the specifics of the breastplate and why it's the breastplate of righteousness and things like that. I think even for the rest of the, armor of God that we go through for each podcast, each week, I think that this part is really cool. And I just learned this from a friend the other day. Not that I didn't know or that I haven't read it, but the way she said it made me go, oh my gosh, I didn't think of it that way. Right. So we've talked about like the belt of truth and we're talking about the breastplate of righteousness and all these things that you put on, but she brought up, that's to like guard like your clothing, to cover your clothing because you're clothed in righteousness, you're clothed in glory, you're clothed in like all these things God clothes you in. And so yeah, he's going to issue armor to protect that.
Yeah.
Is that not the coolest thing?
That's very
I wanted
cool.
to bring that up today, just kind of at the beginning, to keep that in like at top of mind every time we talk about this,
Mm-hmm.
because as we put on our armor, there's a reason that we're doing it, not just to be like, I'm protected, but there are things specifically that we are protecting that
Yeah.
God has given to us as a gift. You
Yeah.
saying gift made me think of that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And let's clarify too, like you think about the breastplate, goes on the front, but it didn't just cover the front, it
yeah,
covers your back,
right.
right? It went
Mm-hmm.
on the front and the back so that you were covered all the way.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
good.
So good.
Yeah. In Ephesians 4:20 through 24, put away the old self, put on the new self to be like God in true righteousness. So I wanted to say that because I think sometimes, especially if you learn it as a younger person, you go through maybe saying the things like we talked about learning it, starting with the helmet of salvation and the breast. And so I think sometimes as a kid especially, but even as adults too, we could learn to just maybe Lord, cover me in the armor, or Lord, I put on the helmet of salvation, I put on the breastplate of righteousness. And that may carry some value, but really we are talking about a lifestyle.
Yeah.
We are talking about the choices you make, the way that you live
Mm-hmm.
is how you put on the righteousness of God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you feed grows, and whatever you starve dies. So we have to feed the spirit and starve your flesh.
Oh
The
man.
same Jesus that saves us sanctifies us. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, I have notes in here that says, because of Jesus, we're justified, forgiven, and clothed in his righteousness.
Yes.
So there's another thing we're clothed in.
Yes.
So you explaining righteousness is really important for how we're protecting that.
Mm-hmm.
So the breastplate, like you said, it goes on the front and then like over the shoulders and down the back, and then it's attached here
With what?
with the straps.
With the belt of
Oh,
truth.
with the belt of truth.
Yes,
Okay,
that
yes.
holds it on. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the straps are here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get the straps in a little bit because that's pretty cool. But it's made of like the straps are made of like leather, and then like, do you have any notes about like what it's made from?
I had on here, if I can find it, I think I saw where it's usually made of copper and chainmail
Yeah.
and leather.
Yes. And then of course they have like buckles, and the leather is like the straps that put it on, that you can tighten and measure and stuff. So it's made of like very sturdy materials.
Yes. And I wrote in my notes it would be equivalent to what we would think of maybe like a bulletproof vest
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
And we talked about this too, just in our conversation, that it's meant to cover your vital organs.
Yes.
Yeah. So all of the things that would keep you alive, your heart, your lungs, your vital organs. And I wrote in here, guard your heart above all else. Everything you do flows from it. I think we don't get the weight of that because it says everything.
Everything.
Everything. Everything you do, every decision you make, every thought flows from your heart. Your heart is not just an organ, it's like the command center of your life.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So guard your heart above all else. And so I have some things in here that are like how Satan attacks your heart.
Mm.
And it often comes through like accusation, shame, guilt. You say like shame or guilt, shame, and condemnation.
Mhm.
That's how the enemy attacks. Bitterness, lust, pride, fear, rejection, all these things that we deal with as humans, that's how the enemy comes after us. And it only affects us like if we let it, or if we have not put on that armor.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which ties into one of the points I had, righteousness, right living, doing the right thing, meeting God's standard of living. When you do, there's protection in that. It protects your heart from steering you in the wrong direction. Wrong decisions invite the enemy into your life, or what we call could create an open door.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that creates like a crack in your armor, right? Like, or you've done something, you've sinned, whatever that looks like, causes cracks in your armor, and the enemy is out to seek where those cracks are.
Yes.
And then that's how he's let in. And those are things like, of course, you've sinned, or hidden sin, or compromise. We've talked about that quite a few times. Unforgiveness.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
a
all the
big one.
things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're fine. Envy.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one.
Jealousy, strife.
Yeah. I mean, being a hypocrite. Sometimes you don't even think about something that you've done as a sin while you're doing it, because it seems like the normal or almost natural thing to do, because our flesh is sinful. So sometimes we do things that we don't necessarily like. Oh, I'll just tell that little white lie because it'll make that person feel better. That's a crack.
That's a crack in
That's
your
a
armor.
crack in your armor. And if you don't fix that, I mean, you're letting the enemy in.
Yeah, I agree. Um, So we talk about it guards your heart and steering you from the wrong direction. I had an example here which I thought was so good. It used the example of like if you ever have fruit flies in your house, right? It said you can do everything you can to get rid of the flies, those strips and the little apple thing and all the things,
Yeah.
and it'll kill the flies. But unless you get rid of the rotten fruit,
Oh, that's good.
the
Yeah.
flies keep coming back. So when we do have a crack, when we have allowed that, then we have to close that up and we have to repent and go back to living right.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Mhm.
That reminds me of, like, also, we're plant people. Like, we love plants. And sometimes you don't know where those little gnats are coming from. And I have probably 30 plants in my house. And sometimes I'm like, I'm going through the trash and the sink and the bathrooms and like where there's water and fruits. And I can't figure out where these little gnats are coming from. And they're driving me crazy and they're annoying. And like,
They multiply.
and they multiply like crazy. And then one day I walked past a plant and I realized there's just a little bit of mold on the top of my dirt. The thing, come on, Lord, the thing that is keeping that plant alive has been poisoned.
Wow.
By that.
That's really
Woo! Yeah.
the soil, the water, yes,
right.
It keeps the plant alive.
Has had mold on it growing.
Wow.
And those things have been born into it. The eggs have been laid, it's been born into it, and now you can't find it unless you run across that plant. Then you got to change the dirt.
Yeah.
Or that plant's going to die. Same thing.
That's very good.
What?
When I was
so cool.
Yeah. When I was thinking about like how you physically put on the armor of the breastplate of righteousness, it says, then he taught, this is, where is this? In Proverbs 4:4-6. Then he taught me and he said to me, take hold of my words with all your heart. Keep my commands and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom and she will protect you. Love her and she will watch over you. It just, every single time we do a podcast, it leads back to the word. I mean, it just, if you don't do anything else, you have to read. I don't care if it's so little that you think it's insignificant. You have to read the word. You have to start somewhere, and we have to be diligent about it. It needs to be a daily practice. We talk about putting on the armor daily. In order to do that, you have to be in your word daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would it be, I mean, I shouldn't say would it be, it would be beneficial if every day we woke up and asked ourselves, am I protected today? Do I have my armor on before I start my day? Have I asked the Lord for his protection? That's something that going through all of this, I've started applying, because I didn't for most of my life until we started doing this whole podcast, this whole armor of God thing. I wasn't intentional about it. I was just like, the Lord's protecting me. The Lord protects me. The Lord. But being intentional about it has been really cool. Yeah. And so to ask yourself, am am I protected? Did I remember that today I need to make sure I put on my armor? And like, what could that look like? How you're putting it on every day.
Yeah, that's really good. It actually ties into one of the notes that I put in my study was when God reveals an area of necessary change in our life, we must allow him to work in us. Mm-hmm. As we wear Christ's breastplate of righteousness, we begin to develop a purity of heart, and this creates a lifestyle, and our lives become conformed to the image of Christ, which is kind of like, you're talking about, do we have that breastplate of righteousness on?
Yeah.
Even as you go throughout your day, are you, when the things are being pointed out, when things need to change, when things are not in alignment with what God says, are you allowing him to change that?
Yeah. All right. So I want to talk about Isaiah 59. We'll start in verse 15. I thought this was really cool when I read it. We're talking about Isaiah, like in the Old Testament, and this is just, it's prophetic. It's super cool. But, in Isaiah 59, starting 15, it says, yes, truth is gone, and anyone who renounces evil is attacked. The Lord looked and was displeased to find there was no justice. He was amazed to see that no one intervened to help the oppressed. No one intervened. So he himself stepped in to save them with his strong arm, and his justice sustained him. He, talking about God, okay, he put on righteousness as his body armor and placed on the helmet of salvation on his head. He clothed himself with a robe of vengeance and wrapped himself in a cloak of divine passion. He will repay his enemies for their evil deeds. His fury will fall on his foes. He will pay them back even to the ends of the earth.
That's good.
So God, your Father, has put on the breastplate himself. There was no one else. And he said, I bet I'm just going to do it myself. Yeah. And I'm going to repay the enemy for what he's done. So that's the God that you serve. But here's the cool part that I really loved is like, not only did he put that on, but he gave that to you, his own. Yeah. That chokes me up every time. He gave you his own body armor to put on yourself to do the same exact thing. And he is still protecting you from the evil. Yes. And so what I like to say is you're wearing what the king wears. So like apply that to an earthly king. Same thing. The king has issued that armor to you. So it is not your armor. Right. It's the king's armor.
Right. We talked so about beautiful. It like when you enlist in the military, they issue you the armor, right? Yeah. You don't have to go out and try to find it or buy it or obtain it. It's issued to you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I'm like, the Lord put on the armor. I'm like, what? Yeah, I just thought that was so interesting.
Yeah, we have an emoji, mind blown by the Lord. Yeah. And that makes me feel like my mind is blown by the Lord. Yeah.
It's so neat. I love that. Also, it makes me think of like, Paul in prison writing all of this stuff out, and he's got a firsthand look at what this is like. So you're talking about somebody that has witnessed a king issuing the armor, and then the soldier, whoever, putting on the armor, and the order they put it on, and like why they do it, and also that they don't do it alone. Mm-hmm. They don't put their armor on by themselves. Mm-hmm. They have people that help them.
Yeah, that's good.
And so it's like carrying each other's burdens. That's a part of it,
Yeah.
Like,
I like
that. People suit up. That's what you say. Suit up.
Suit up.
Yeah. There's so much to it. Yeah. You can get so deep so quick.
Yeah. I had the fourth beatitude, blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness. And then I said, we should aim to honor, obey, and glorify God. We put on the breastplate every day. So it's a choice you make. Mm-hmm. You make a choice to walk in righteousness, to make right decisions every day. And that means we're renewing our commitment to God and asking for his help to live righteous. So when we make a choice to live righteous, it's not in our own might and our own strength, right? It's in his armor.
Yeah.
He is giving us the ability to live righteous. Yeah. It's allowing the Lord to come alongside and help us to make those decisions. Yeah.
Wow.
In Romans 3:10, it says, there is no one righteous, not one. So without the price that Jesus paid, right, we would just be, there are none righteous. We are not righteous, but only by the blood of Jesus.
No, we'd be in so much trouble.
Yeah.
I think of that, I'm like, oh man, if it weren't for Jesus, gosh.
Do you ever have this thought? This is just a thought that I have sometimes. Well, I see people, and we all see people living maybe a different lifestyle than we live out in the world. Or I passed a place today, a place of business that, I had the thought when I passed it, if the Lord had not have saved me, is that somewhere I would be going? Like I have these thoughts, like, I don't think about it too much because I don't want to go back and I never would want to live there, but it is good to remember, I would never go in that place today, the person that I am now living for the Lord, but I have the thought, if the Lord had not have saved me, is that somewhere I would be, going to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you've got something there because I think that too. Not like, I wouldn't even question it. I'd be like, yeah, I'd be there.
Yeah.
Because of places that I have gone and been and things that I have done. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd easily been there.
Yeah, I agree. We talk about, when we're talking about the blessed, it is blessed, breastplate of righteousness. We talk about decisions that we make that honor God. And I always tell my kids, we have conversations about like friends that, they go to school with, that may not be living for the Lord, going to church. And they sometimes, will say, I don't know why they made that decision or, how they could do that. And the conversation that we have is that when you're not living for the Lord, what are you basing your decisions on? How do you know what's right or wrong if you're not living for the Lord?
Yeah.
How do you know what's right or wrong? It's really the culture we're in now about, as long as it's not hurting anybody or as long as it makes you happy.
Yeah.
But that's
You're
not.
living on feelings. And you can't trust that. They're not true.
Feelings will lie.
Right.
We say that a lot, don't we?
Yeah. We do. But yeah, I mean, I remember living in that place where I wasn't seeking the Lord in things and you just, I mean, it's almost like you're on autopilot and you just do whatever's in front of you, you're just doing it because it's there and there's almost no sense that, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no sense of it.
You saying that makes me think though. So let's just unpack that a little bit. If we are putting on the righteousness of God, which is in our word, trying to make decisions that are pleasing to him, right? Which we only know what they are because of the word, right? And so if we are in that place, can we be on autopilot then too?
I mean, I believe that, yes, because when the Lord has changed you, he's changed your heart and your mind and your soul and your everything about you, then that becomes the natural response.
Yeah.
So I do believe that.
Yeah.
Because now I don't think about that, but you say that's who I was, but it's not who I am. Literally, that's it.
Yeah.
As God has changed me to where now my autopilot is first him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We say that a lot. We tell people that might be what I did, but that's not who I am.
Yes.
Because the enemy has that broken record in your head that you did all these things, and of course we all have sinned and fallen short, but that is a saying that we use to help people get past that. That might be what I did, but that's not who I am. We are now the righteousness of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
That's so good.
It's so good. Yeah. And it's so freeing.
Yeah, I think we do have to always be on guard about the enemy, but I agree that our decisions a lot of times become on autopilot. Here's for instance, sometimes you'll make a decision, you don't really know why, you just feel like that's how the Lord is leading you. And then you see how that plays out. That yes, that was the Lord helping you to avoid whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the opposite. No, because maybe you had a thought that was negative about yourself or about something like that you allowed to take root somewhere. And then like, even though you were doing something good or you're doing something positive, it just happened to me a few weeks ago. It's like, oh, that one little thing I believed. And there was this track record of like multiple things that were not true that led me to a decision that wasn't correct because I wasn't being led by the Lord. I was being led by that thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why, and we haven't gotten to the helmet of salvation, but I think we're probably end up talking about the thoughts and things we allow into our mind. In Matthew 6:33, it says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. So it's like once you do that, you make a decision that you're going to put God first. It's like the rest of the things that we worry about, that we strive, that we, you and I had a conversation maybe earlier this week, that doing things in our own might. But it says if we will seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, that we don't have to worry about those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that we talked about, was just a random thought I had. And the more I thought about it after we discussed it, I was like, oh, I really didn't even need to ask that question. But maybe the Lord was just like, Desiree. But it was, the breastplate of righteousness is guarding your heart. And the Bible says to guard your heart above all else. And the Bible also teaches us that the heart is deceitful.
Right.
The heart is, you can't trust it. And so I was like, well, wait, I'm guarding something I can't trust. And so I was thinking of it kind of wrong. Like, doesn't make any sense to me. But then I thought, well, yeah, I need to guard that because you can't trust it.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was the same exact sentence, but like how you think about it. And I was like, oh, I need to guard it so it doesn't just lead my life. Because I can't trust it to do that.
Right. That's right. That's
so after talking to you about it, I was like, oh, well, I could have just been like, hey, Lord, what about this whole guard my heart thing? But it was really cool. After I thought about it some more, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense.
I think there's a scripture, but I don't have it in my notes that talks about, to guard your heart, which is what you're saying, because it will deceive you. It will lead you astray. Yeah. So that's why we have to make sure that I guess it's the flesh really is what it is, that the flesh is not leading us, right?
Yeah.
That we're making right decisions according to God's, will for our lives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had in summary, to live righteous is to join Jesus as he makes things right. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn and provide for those who grieve in Zion. Bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Because it just told you everything that's going to be put on under your armor.
Yes.
Your crown under the helmet.
He's going to bind up the brokenhearted. Yeah. He's going to set the captives free. He's going to release the prisoners from darkness. Yeah. Yes. the year of the favor of the Lord, all of that, and then they will be called oaks of righteousness.
Yeah.
That just stuck with me because you think about a big oak tree.
Yeah.
Those oak trees are not like, I'm from North Carolina, we have pine trees and they fall over if you blow on them. Literally, it's just like, because their roots don't go deep, but an oak tree.
Oh, I have 2 in my yard. You've seen those.
Yeah.
One of them is in the front yard. The thing is massive. The top of it is like the size of my house.
Yeah.
It's huge. And then it's really tall, and the trunk of it would probably take 3 people to go around it.
Yeah.
But in my yard, that's funny that you said that. Because in my yard, whenever we mow, we know where those roots go. Because they're deep, but there's also roots that are just on the top of the ground that spread out. So they're deep and wide. So they're very, very secure in the ground. Yeah. Okay. But when we mow, we run over those roots. We're thinking it's a big old stick. Nope. There's nothing we can do about that because they're the huge roots in the ground. Yeah. Yeah. Those things are, they're mighty oaks.
They're mighty oaks. Did you catch, before we move to mighty oaks, a planting of the Lord? A planting of the Lord to display his splendor. So we are a planting of the Lord to display his splendor.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I love that.
No, that is beautiful. Yeah. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's what it says at the end of. It's kind of long to get there, but I think all of it was important. Yeah. To say.
Oh, it was. It has everything to do with what we're talking about, and I just love that. Yeah. A display of splendor. If that doesn't make you feel loved, what would? Yeah. That is amazing that he sees you like you're a display of splendor. Wow.
It talks about, because that verse talks about being planted like a oak, but it makes me think about that it says we'll be planted like trees of living. How's that go? Planted, when you've done all that you can do to stand, then stand, planted by the rivers of living water. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Okay, so another point that I wanted to bring up about the breastplate of righteousness is that it wasn't something that we used in battle that was supposed to like look good or anything like that. It was made out of those materials that we had talked about earlier, which is to keep you protected. So that's what it's about, is the protection, right? It was designed, this note here says, it was designed to keep the person alive. So it covered everything from the neck down to the waist. Some were made with overlapping iron strips, and others were molded bronze. Some were lined with leather, which we had talked about, but it absorbs, that's one of the things, was the leather was to absorb the shock of the blow. So I thought that was really neat. So it wasn't just like metal or just the chainmail, or it was like layers of things for protection. And then you have something also that absorbs the shock of the blow, so that way even the hit doesn't hurt you.
That's good.
Like, cool that you're not getting penetrated by all the metal things, but even God thought of like
shock absorber.
Shock absorber. It could still hurt them by just being hit, you know? So I thought that was really neat. It wasn't something that was light. It was very heavy. It wasn't something that was comfortable. Yeah. It was very uncomfortable. They had to carry that in battle. Like, can you imagine carrying something that heavy, the weight of your gear, of your battle gear? And it says, but every experienced soldier wore it because because what mattered more was their protection than comfort. Okay, yeah. So like they knew that they could wear this. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So you have to like have your mind set on that. Like, I'm wearing this for my protection, not because I'm comfortable.
That's really
so
good.
When you feel uncomfortable, when you feel the attack, when you feel in the middle of that place, you have to remind yourself that this is what carrying the armor feels like.
Yeah.
And it is heavy and it is hard.
Yeah.
And I'm not here for comfort. I'm here for protection.
Well, and if you think about it, that's how so many times we get out of reading our word or whatever. It's because we'd rather be comfortable. We'd rather stay in the bed than get up early in the morning, right?
Yes.
We'd rather entertain ourselves and watch TV instead of reading the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so following Jesus sometimes is not comfortable.
Yeah. You talking about the armor like that, and I know we are referring to like a Roman soldier, but people need to know, and it is clear, we read it at the beginning of the girdle of the belt of truth, is that we are in a war.
Yeah.
We are in a spiritual war, and we need to suit up, armor up. Yeah, for the war, for the battle that we're in. Yeah.
I mean, you can't just be walking out on battlefields just exposed.
Right.
You just did yourself a disservice. God has this thing for you, and you just gonna walk out there naked.
Without no pants.
Without no pants. We don't need no pants, Lord.
If you know, you know. If you don't, go back to the previous podcast.
Yeah.
I had in closing, if we tolerate sin, if we refuse to forgive and rely on ourselves for righteousness or allow things to crowd out our time with God, then we minimize the breastplate's power to protect us. Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
We love you.
For real.
Just so y'all know, this whole time my camera has been shutting off saying that I have no storage when I literally cleared everything off of it. And we've been having like printing problems with our notes. Come on, Donna, what's up?
I literally had a spider fall out of the sky on me today. It's fine.
Yeah. I just had a really interesting, crazy morning, and even getting here was wild. Like, none of my stuff got charged because I planned on using some other things to record this. And so, yeah.
Oh, let's not forget that last week we had it set up to record, and I didn't think about it. I just totally forgot.
And then previous to that, there have been medical things. There have been, the Lord wants us to do this, but the enemy hates it. And that's all I got to say. So stay tuned, because we know that God's got a plan for this and you're a part of it. So, all right, for real, we do love you.
We do love you.